Did billionaire speculator George Soros, President Barack Obama, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Vice President Joe Biden, and Obama-Clinton advisor John Podesta conspire to overthrow the conservative Pope Benedict XVI and replace him with a radical Pope Francis? Did they use America's intelligence agencies, and our nation's diplomatic machinery, political muscle, and financial power to coerce and blackmail regime change in the Roman Catholic Church? Far from being some wild conspiracy theory, there is sound prima facie evidence to indicate that this is a serious effort to expose a political scandal of the highest order, involving flagrant, criminal abuse of power at the top levels of the U.S. government. A group of respected Catholic lay leaders have sent a letter to President Donald Trump urging him to launch an official investigation into the activities of the above-mentioned individuals, and others, who appear to have been involved in this alleged Vatican coup. They cite 8 specific questions they seek to have answered concerning suspect events that led to the resignation of Pope Benedict, the first such papal abdication in 700 years. Specifically, we have reason to believe that a Vatican regime change was engineered by the Obama administration, say the petitioners, in their January 20 letter to President Trump. The 5 signatories to the letter, first published in the Catholic newspaper, weblog, The Remnant, are Lieutenant Colonel David L. Sunyer, U.S. Army, retired; Michael J. Matt, editor of The Remnant; Christopher A. Ferrara, author, attorney, and president of the American Catholic Lawyers Association Incorporated; Chris Jackson, CatholicsForTrump.com, and Elizabeth Yore, Esquire, founder of Your Children. We were alarmed to discover, their letter notes, that, during the 3rd year of the first term of the Obama administration, your previous opponent, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and other government officials with whom she associated proposed a Catholic revolution in which the final demise of what was left of the Catholic Church in America would be realized. The letter includes footnote links that take the reader to documents and news stories underscoring their charges and pointed questions. It first directs attention to the Soros-Clinton Podesta emails disclosed last year by WikiLeaks, in which Podesta and other progressives discussed ending the Middle Ages dictatorship in the Catholic Church. Regarding the emails in question, The New American reported last October, Podesta, a longtime Clinton advisor, confidant and hand-picked top activist for left-wing funder George Soros, revealed in a 2011 email that he and other activists were working to effect a Catholic Spring Revolution within the Catholic Church, an obvious reference to the disastrous Arab Spring coups organized that same year by the Obama-Clinton-Soros team that destabilized the Middle East and brought radical Islamist regimes and terrorist groups to power in the region. The Podesta email is a response to another Soros-funded radical, Sandy Newman, founder of the Progressive Voices for Progress. Newman had written to Podesta seeking advice on the best way to plant the seeds of the revolution in the Catholic Church, which he described as a Middle Ages, sick, dictatorship. The issue that appeared to be the cause of Newman's email was opposition by U.S. Catholic bishops to the federally mandated contraceptive coverage in Obamacare. In their letter to President Trump, the concerned Catholics write, approximately a year after this email discussion, which was never intended to be made public, we find that Pope Benedict XVI abdicated under highly unusual circumstances and was replaced by a pope whose apparent mission is to provide a spiritual component to the radical ideological agenda of the international left. The pontificate of Pope Francis has subsequently called into question its own legitimacy on a multitude of occasions. We remain puzzled by the behavior of this ideologically charged pope, whose mission seems to be one of advancing secular agendas of the left rather than guiding the Catholic Church in her sacred mission, they say, expressing the thoughts, undoubtedly, of innumerable Catholics worldwide. It is simply not the proper role of a pope to be involved in politics to the point that he is considered to be the leader of the international left. The Catholic Quintet began their missive to President Trump with the famous quote attributed to French historian Alexis de Tocqueville, "America is great because she is good." If America ceases to be good, America will cease to be great. While we share your stated goal for America, they write, we believe that the path to greatness is for America to be good again. To paraphrase de Tocqueville, we understand that good character cannot be forced on people, but the opportunity to live our lives as good Catholics has been made increasingly difficult by what appears to be a collusion between a hostile United States government and a pope who seems to hold as much ill will towards followers of perennial Catholic teachings as he seems to hold toward yourself. They continue. With all of this in mind, and wishing the best for our country as well as for Catholics worldwide, we believe it to be the responsibility of loyal and informed United States Catholics to petition you to authorize an investigation into the following questions. To what end was the National Security Agency monitoring the conclave that elected Pope Francis? What other covert operations were carried out by U.S. government operatives concerning the resignation of Pope Benedict or the conclave that elected Pope Francis? Did U.S. government operatives have contact with the Cardinal Daniels Mafia? International monetary transactions with the Vatican were suspended during the last few days prior to the resignation of Pope Benedict. Were any U.S. government agencies involved in this? Why were international monetary transactions resumed on February 12, 2013, the day after Benedict XVI announced his resignation? Was this pure coincidence? What actions, if any, were actually taken by John Podesta, Hillary Clinton, and others tied to the Obama administration who were involved in the discussion proposing the fomenting of a Catholic Spring? What was the purpose and nature of the secret meeting between Vice President Joseph Biden and Pope Benedict XVI at the Vatican on or about June 3, 2011? What roles were played by George Soros and other international financiers who may be currently residing in United States territory? It is likely that very few Americans, including American Catholics, are aware of these matters, in the slightest degree. Although the WikiLeaks, DC leaks, and Snowden revelations have made most of this planet's inhabitants aware that the NSA routinely, and illegally, has scooped up billions of phone calls, emails, and text messages, very little media coverage has focused on the revelations concerning the NSA spying on Pope Benedict and the cardinals of the conclave that elected Pope Francis in 2013, see here and here. Architects of subversion. What about the secret Cardinal Daniels Mafia referred to above? According to the Catholic blogspot Rorate Cully, the election of Jorge Bergoglio was the fruit of secret meetings that cardinals and bishops, organized by Carla Maria Martini, held for years at St. Gall in Switzerland. That is the claim of Jurgen Metpeningen and Karim Selkens, the authors of a recently published authorized biography of the Belgian Cardinal Godfrey Daniels, who refer to the group of cardinals and bishops as the Mafia Club. Cardinal Daniels himself, in a video recorded for the book, admits to taking part in the secret club of cardinals that were in opposition to Joseph Ratzinger, Pope Benedict. He refers to it as a mafia club whose name was St. Gall. In addition to Daniels, this mafia club reportedly included Cardinal Carla Maria Martini, Dutch Bishop Adrian van Lin, German Cardinals Walter Kasper and Karl Lehmann, the Italian Cardinal Joachim Silvestrini, Britain's Cardinal Basil Hume, and other liberal left churchmen. Cardinal Daniels, a Belgian, has long been viewed as a key subversive in the church prelature for undermining traditional Catholic teaching against abortion, homosexuality, and gay marriage, as well as for his efforts to protect pedophiles in the clergy. One name not mentioned in the recent letter of concern Catholics to President Trump, but certain to surface as a key culprit in any substantive investigation, is former chairman of Goldman Sachs International Peter Sutherland. Mr. Sutherland, an insider's insider among the globalist banking establishment, was brought in to help reform the Vatican Bank, which was akin to putting Dracula in charge of the blood bank. Like Joseph Biden, Jerry Brown, and Nancy Pelosi, Sutherland is a prominent political figure who is regularly described in media accounts as a practicing Catholic, which means he wears his religion when it is expedient to do so. As Attorney General of Ireland, Sutherland helped to scuttle that Catholic country's legal restrictions on abortion and favoured the LGBT rights movement. He has served as a Commissioner of the European Union and headed the Global Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, and the World Trade Organization, WTO. Here are some of his other globalist credentials, as previously in the New American. He is a regular attendee and former steering committee member of the ultra-secretive, ultra-elite Bilderberg Group. He was European chairman of the Trilateral Commission. He is past chairman of British Petroleum, BP. He is honorary president of the Transatlantic Policy Network, TPN, one of the principal corporatist insider organizations promoting EU-US merger through the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, TTIP. As a top bureaucrat, he played a lead role in destroying national sovereignty by replacing national currencies and national monetary control with the euro, as well as engineering the borderless Europe, which the current migrant crisis is now proving to have been so destructive. For the past decade, as the United Nations Special Representative for International Migration, Sutherland has been a key architect, along with George Soros, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and other globalists of the global scheme that has flooded Europe with the disastrous tsunami of Muslim migrants. Their plans, which called for a similar migration deluge for the United States, got started under President Obama, but have been scuttled by the election of President Trump. The investigation that the concerned Catholics are requesting of President Trump should be of interest to more than just Catholics. Peter Sutherland, George Soros, and the world government movement they represent will, if successful, wreak unimaginable havoc and devastation upon the entire planet. The investigation, and prosecutions, cannot begin